Welcome to the Full-Time Fantasy Podcast, presented by the Fantasy Football World Championship, home to the industry's most accurate rankings.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Full-Time Fantasy Podcast. I'm your host, as usual, Adam Crowers, and with me tonight is the defending world champion, Pat. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great, my friend. Doing great. You have second time on the show. Last time we had you on, you were winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you still riding high, or is it back to the grind as usual?
Both.
Both.
I'm happy waiver wires are done this week, so the grind becomes a little different now. Now it's just lineup grind.
Dude, the people who are in home leagues have no idea what it's like. Even if you did the same amount of home leagues as we do high stakes leagues, the waivers are different. The fab and there's never anybody on waivers ever.
No, literally. No.
You know, you just got to go let's go get Isaiah Guerrero. No, Isaac Guerrero's been gone for 8 weeks.
He's been cut by a lot of teams. He's
not
available, but no one can have him. So, okay.
Correct. So it's interesting. It's fun. It's nice to be done with the grind for a lot of waivers after this week.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to do this. Excited to jump into it. So let's jump into week 14 here. Do a little preview. The week coming up here. We'll probably talk a little bit of waivers as we get through this a little bit. Not that there's much out there, there's freaking defenses and kickers and all that stuff. I should probably ask you, you carry more than one? Now, the cool thing about FFWC is it's team kicker, which is awesome.
Yes.
Because you don't have to carry two. But do you carry two defenses or two kickers?
Sometimes. It depends on the team. Like, I was the smartest guy in week 11, and I picked up every 49er kicker I could get.
There you go.
This is it. They got a great schedule at the end. They're going to be kicking field goals. They're going to be ahead. And then they turned into a crappy football team, and Brock Purdy can't throw the ball more than 4 yards down the field. So I had to get off of that train.
Yeah. Plus they end up playing in a snowstorm in Buffalo.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So I did some panic waivers on Sunday morning to get rid of all my shares of those. But two defenses, yes. Kickers, generally no. It's because it's team kicker, like you said.
Right.
You just get what you get, and you're like, I'll take it.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. I think it's the point of having team kicker. The great thing about it is you don't have to waste a roster spot come playoff time because there's no, for people who are listening who don't know, there's no waivers once the playoffs hit. Right. So you generally in other tournaments you'd have to carry an extra kicker or an extra defense just in case of injury. Obviously, defenses don't get hurt, but kickers can get hurt.
Right.
And I know. And it's hard, it's hard to win an overall without a kicker. Abib Agbatoba, he won the football guys back over at the FFPC maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It's a mid-stakes tournament, $500,000 or $1 million up top. A couple of years ago, he had the final 2 weeks. He didn't have a kicker. He still pulled it, which is incredible in an overall tournament. But
that's why I carry 3 quarterbacks on most teams now.
Yeah,
because last year the team I thought was my best team had Herbert and Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson got contracted out of Denver and stopped starting, and Herbert got hurt. And I literally had no quarterback the last 2 weeks.
I know, dude. And it makes you sick. All that money, you could have won, all them. And you don't know. I mean, looking at it now, you've got Trevor Lawrence and you've got all these different guys. There's no freaking I'm looking at teams with 3 quarterbacks that I have in the playoffs, and I'm feeling comfy. Normally, why do I have 3? But then you look at other teams man, I could probably use another quarterback, especially Caleb Williams. Maybe he gets benched the last week of the year or something crazy.
I was looking at it today, and I've got Lamar on 2 teams. And one team I didn't pick up a quarterback all year. I'm like, screw it. I'll figure it out eventually. And the team I thought was so good, I didn't have anybody that was cuttable all these weeks. So I'm rolling with Cooper Rush.
There you go. Big time, baby.
Whatever.
That's right. I mean, he doesn't have the worst matchup in the world this week.
No,
so.
It's actually pretty good.
Right. So actually, we'll get to that Cowboys game, but let's start tomorrow night. What do we got? Lions, Packers again. I feel like we just had Lions, Packers.
We did, yeah. No weather this time.
No weather this time. So we've got Detroit's -3.5 as of right now. Team's pretty healthy. You got hopefully a shootout for us fantasy guys. Jordan Love, soft place in your heart, obviously. Including somebody last year. But what do you think of this game coming out here tomorrow night? Thursday night games, you get nervous about those?
So the hard part about Thursday night games for me is not putting guys in my starting lineup who are playing on Thursday, because you want that immediate gratification. You're like, wait a minute. It's a primetime game. He could really go off, or he could get you 1.6, and now you're behind everybody.
Yep.
I think tomorrow's going to be a shootout. I hope so. No Romeo Dobbs. So all my Packer shares of Reed and Kraft and Watson, I'm liking. And I got a ton of Gibbs and Montgomery. So I'm hoping they take the lead and the Packers have to play catch up.
Right. That would be ideal as well for me. I've got some Watson that's been and Wicks that's been just kind of
Wicks,
rotting away on the bench. But this week with the bye weeks, I think I have a couple that I can slide him in there, and this might be the week that I shoot out without Dobbs.
Yeah.
I've got one team, I know, a playoff team that's got two of those receivers. That, you know what? Maybe I'll just throw them both in there, and hopefully one of them scores.
Right.
And the other one can do. Yeah. So exactly what you said. We're looking for a shootout here. So you're starting all the usual suspects. The Packers receiving core. I think you can get to Wicks. You can get to Watson if you have to. And then I think you're starting everybody else, right? What about Tucker Kraft? He hasn't been amazing, but I think we could probably get to him too, right?
He's hard to predict, and I have him on like 80% of my teams.
Yeah.
I've got TJ Hawkinson on a lot of those teams. So it's like, all right, one or the other or both. But I mean, Detroit's been tough against tight ends.
Very tough.
But they haven't played a ton of good tight ends.
Yeah.
So he's the coin flip, honestly. But the rest of them, for sure. I mean, you're starting Josh Jacobs. You're probably starting any receiver. Wicks is the one you look at and go, if I got no better options with 6 teams on bye.
Right. You know. Yeah, and the Tucker Kraft. So he has the second toughest tight end matchup this week.
Mm-hmm.
But he's am I starting Will Dissly over him? Probably, because the Chiefs suck against tight ends. Am I starting Gesicki? Maybe. I'm trying to look at the tight ends. Otten, Otten's got a really good matchup this week. I like for him to bounce back. We'll talk about them later on too. Kincaid will be back. So I think you could get off Kraft for sure.
Yeah, it depends who you have on your team. I mean, you know, some teams I'm like, oh, he's starting, and other teams I'm like, maybe a flex.
Yeah, no, totally agree. So cross your fingers. I'm the same as you, dude. I like to get guys in these Thursday night games because I'm just selfish like that. I want to see him play.
Yeah. So. Well, that one Cincinnati Thursday night game, I had Chase and Lamar and Chase Brown.
Yes.
I had over 100 points.
I know.
I'm like, ooh, this is a nice way to start. And I looked at one of my other teams and I was down 90. So I'm like, yeah, you give, you get.
Yep. And then who would have thought that Monday night game, freaking last night, Denver, and I mean Denver, Cleveland, what a banana shootout that was.
Terrible for me,
dude. I had a mid-stakes team that lost in the semis on the second Denver pick six, the second one. That's like, oh my god, really? That's the way you're gonna go down 30 points from the defense, or whatever it was. So stupid, but that's probably doing a million leagues like that. So, all right, Carolina and Philly. This should be a nice for the Philly guys here, getting a great matchup. Saquon going for the rushing title. This could be a game that could really put him there. You're obviously starting all of your Eagles in this matchup. Where are you with the Panthers backfield? So I didn't get to watch a ton of football on Sunday. I was actually at the Bills game, so I didn't get to see a lot of this game, but it looks like Hubbard gave a little bit of work up to Jonathan Brooks. Is he can Brooks be a crazy, again, 6 teams on bye? Can he be a crazy flex player or RB2?
I mean, if it wasn't the Eagles,
Right.
yes, for sure. Yeah. I mean, so I guess it's, how's this game going to go if the Eagles get up 21 early? Are they going to play Brooks? I have Hubbard and Brooks on a bunch of teams, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, it's a terrible matchup for running backs.
Yep.
And Hubbard is succeeding some of the work to Brooks now. And Brooks, on the few touches he had, looked really explosive.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't made my choice there yet, but I mean, Brooks as a flex with 6 teams on bye, I could see it.
I know. And the other thing too is, I mean, the bad luck of he comes back, right? He finally gets back, and it's the Kansas City Chiefs defense.
Right.
I was like, all right, never mind.
Chiefs, and then Eagles.
It's like, okay, you know, like, what the heck? But yeah, so no, I think you're right. Maybe he becomes a pass catching back in that scenario, in that type of game. Who knows? Again, you're flipping a coin, but no strong opinions there. If you can bench him, I would. Because of the matchup and because he's splitting carries, best case. But Thielen, I kind of I guess I'm rocking with Thielen again after the big week he had last week, right? And didn't he have a touchdown called back too?
He did. And it was a touchdown.
Oh, sure, of course.
I only have him on one team, and he was riding my bench for someone that shouldn't have been playing.
Yeah,
and he looked like the Minnesota Vikings Adam Thielen to me. And I'm like, I might have to play him this week on that one team.
For sure. I'm kind of excited to get those type. And listen, to give him credit, we've been bashing him forever, but the quarterback looks like can play a little bit now. Break helped him out, I think. Yeah.
Bryce Young kind of got it now. It slowed down for him. I mean, I'm not rostering him, but I wouldn't shame anyone who said, I got Lamar on bye, I'm playing Bryce Young this week.
Right. And again, we don't really care about Bryce Young because we're not looking to start him, but it's cake. And you just that's why we like Dalton.
Yes.
Oh my God, he could get the ball to Deontay Johnson or Adam Thielen or whatever, the ghost of Deontay Johnson. My God, what a disaster it is.
May he rest in peace.
But
he got suspended today. Did you see that?
I know. It's what a disaster.
He was on so many of my teams.
I know.
And 3 weeks ago, I had a moment, and I'm like, I had a come to Jesus moment, and I'm like, I'm cutting him on every team, and I don't care if it costs me. I finally did it.
I had a come to Jesus moment today, and I couldn't do it. I'm staring at him. I'm like,
still?
I couldn't. I'm just so invested. He's on a team. Do I drop him or do I drop my second defense? And I'm like, let me just drop him. Let me drop my second defense. I can't.
It's terrible. He's so talented, but he's a head case.
I know. So I'm okay with Thielen this week for sure. Running backs and not so much. And you're starting all your Eagles that you can get. Hopefully Devonta Smith's back. Goddard's probably out. Calcaterra, he's worth a pickup for sure, because especially if Goddard's on the IR. And he's also, let me see where I have him in my rankings. I don't love starting, but he's got a good matchup. You could see him outscoring Noah Gray or Cole Kmet or Jawan Johnson or something. He's looked decent.
He's talented.
Yeah.
It's
Agreed.
the Calcaterra wine mixer. If you play him, boom.
The wine mixer. I love it. All right, moving on. Let's talk about Jets, Dolphins here. Miami -6.5 at Miami. Some nice weather. Like to see them kind of get going like they did the last game there. Jalen Waddle's gotten going a little bit. Achane. Achane's a guy that I have absolutely everywhere. The only reason I don't have more Derrick Henry is because I've got all the Achane in the world.
Right.
I'm perfectly happy with that and how that no, that's absolutely right. So you're starting all your Dolphins. I feel like I need to apologize. It's the holiday season, Pat. I'm feeling friendly. I feel like I need to apologize to Arthur Smith, believe it or not, because Jonnu Smith is unbelievable. Kyle Pitts is terrible, and we bashed him for like 2 years, right?
We did, all of us.
And now the Steelers offense is going crazy,
right?
right? Like,
yes.
oh my God.
Yeah. And Corradell Patterson is Arthur's guy either way.
Right. But it's like, dude, Jonu's gonna, he's been
Jonu's a league winner. I drafted Jonu in so many places and then cut him in week 4 or 5 because the Dolphins were terrible. They had no offense. He's been the best tight end for the last 3 weeks and top 5 for 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah. And listen to this. So Jerry's right. Jerry has a question, and it's sick to even think about.
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith or Travis Kelce. Like the fact that that's a question.
And it is.
It is. Both of them. Kelce has a terrible man. He's got the third.
He's got Derwin James.
Yes, he's got the Chargers.
Yeah.
And Jonnu's got the Jets, but the Jets aren't easy either. But man,
But the Jets defense lately without Salah hasn't been the same.
I like they're force feeding Jonnu Smith.
They are. He's option number 1. Tyreek Hill and Waddle are afterthoughts. It's A-Chain and Jonnu Smith all the way. Right.
Unless you're playing against me, Jerry. I think you're actually trying to catch me in a league. So if that's the league, you start Travis Kelce. Okay, you start Kelce. But that's the type of stuff that we're looking at here. So yeah, Jonnu, I've got him in some really ones where he's really killing. I have him in some tight end premium leagues, and he's just, oh my God, he's just been unbelievable. 8, 9,
10 catches.
Oh, it's so stupid. It's unbelievable. So yeah, you're starting all your Dolphins that you can get your hands on, and then sorry, I lost my train of thought here. It was just the Jets. Yeah.
Jets, yeah.
Going with Garrett Wilson, going with Devontae Adams,
Yeah.
I wonder who is Ramsey going to shadow? Like, I don't know how that's going to. It'll probably be Ramsey on Adams a lot, but you got to roll the dice with Breece Hall. Hall still, even though he had the injury and lost some work to Braylon Allen, he still saw his usual carry loads and the splits and all that.
Yeah.
He just hasn't been that monster.
He's playing hurt, I think, honestly. Yeah. I mean, they took him out right before halftime in the game, and it looked like he was done for the game because they were looking at the same knee.
Yeah.
Then he came back and started the third quarter, but he just doesn't look the same. And Rodgers is ruining that whole offense.
The vibe, everything. I know.
Yeah. I thought he was going to dump off to Hall so much, and Hall would have 6, 7 catches a game.
I know.
It's not happening.
Nothing. It's crazy. I mean, he's had some big games there. It's been a while. I've got a main, man. I got an FFWC main that I started. I started Gibbs. I started Hall, Breece Hall, Gibbs, A-Chan. And they're in, and I'm like, love looking at that roster.
Yeah.
But it's like if Hall could just get back to that 20-point monster a week, man, that team could do some damage. Because I'm probably one of the only teams. Yeah.
Gibbs and A-Chan they're 18 to 20 points every week at this point.
I know that's a fun team to look at. So if he can get rolling, but so you're starting Adams. You're starting get Garrett Wilson. I would stay away from Conklin. He doesn't really do much.
No.
And Rodgers, I would stay away from him too. But again, Rodgers is a guy. That's another guy. Like if you've got 2 quarterbacks and Rodgers is your second quarterback, you're probably picking. I would pick up a third.
He's going to get Russell Wilson at any moment.
Yes, he could get benched. He's not getting benched. If he gets benched, he's not coming.
He could go on a retreat.
Right, that's right.
At this point, he's like, screw it. I'll just go on a retreat to Montana at this point.
Right.
Yeah, no, I had him on my team that's second overall with Lamar. And last week, I'm like, no, I can't stick with this because something stupid is going to happen, and I'm not going to have a quarterback. So,
pick up a third. Pick up a third. And even if it's I should probably know this. Who's the backup for the Jets? I don't even know. Even if you pick him up, just in case, just so you don't ever get to 0 with Rodgers. Like
I can't believe I don't know the answer to that.
I probably look that up.
Wait. It's Tyrod Taylor.
That's right. It is Tyrod Taylor.
I think it's Tyrod Taylor.
It is. You could do way worse than Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor is an 18-point guy.
Go get Tyrod. I'm going to do. Let's get off the show.
Yeah, let's go on.
Let's go pick up Tyrod Taylor. All right. All right. Next game: Raiders Bucks. I mean, Bucks are -7. What's going on with Big Daddy Otten? Because this guy was carrying me for a month. And Mike Evans comes back, and all of a sudden, nothing.
Kate Otton's a fraud.
Oh, don't do that to me. Come on.
He is.
I know.
He got 12 targets a game because there was literally no one but the running backs to throw to.
Yeah, but they weren't
did well with it.
They weren't 5-yard outs. I mean,
no, they weren't. They were seams up the middle. Yeah. I mean, I'm watching these games and I'm like, I can't believe I have no Kate Otten. He's terrible at football, but I got no Kate Otten. This is terrible.
Right. I know.
And then the first game back with Evans, it's like, okay, that's why I have no Kate Otten, I guess.
I know. Got a great matchup. The Raiders suck against tight end, so you could definitely do work. I have him as a top 10 guy this week.
He probably is, but if they get up too much and they just start running or throwing screens to the backs, now that they have Evans, that opens up the backs for so much more of the screens. I mean, we saw Bucky last week. Holy cow.
They catch so many passes. So you're starting Evans. I think I'm starting Otten. You're starting Bucky Irving for sure. Top 10 back, maybe rest away.
Yeah.
And you're probably starting Rachaad White because of the pass catching ability. Like as a
I mean, he still played like 50% of the snaps. He just didn't get the ball a lot. So they get a lead. He'll be in there.
Yep, exactly. So you're starting all those guys. And then you're definitely starting Hall of Famer Brock Bowers. I want to get a Hall of Famer Brock Bowers t-shirt because he's just the best.
That guy.
He's so good. He's so good. I've got him on a couple teams too. He was the guy that I got to, like, if I missed out on all the elite ones, right? I was like, okay, I didn't get an elite guy. Bowers has the upside. I expected this for his career. Like I knew he'd be good.
Right.
But right out of the gate, Devontae Adams was there, right? How many targets is he going to get?
Yeah.
It's just run beautifully for him now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm amazed at him. I didn't have him in any leagues, and then I got in a league with Jason Weiler, and we took him as our tight end one because he was hot to trot for him, and this was when we were in Vegas. So then I had a draft the next day, and I took him in a draft, and I'm like, holy cow, this guy's killing it.
Yeah,
I waited on tight end. Taysom Hill and TJ Hawkinson are my tight ends.
Yep. And now
I waited. Everybody picked a tight end. Somebody picked some more tight ends, and then I'm like, I'll take a tight end now. But Bowers is the thing.
He's been so good. So you're starting him. Jacoby Myers has been good enough.
Yeah.
He's been fine.
Yeah.
The backfield is garbage. But listen, there's what is his name? I'm losing his
Sincere.
name.
Sincere McCormick.
I'm gonna pretend like I don't know his name as I tried to get him on waivers today.
Yeah, exactly. There's no waivers tonight.
No, there's no waivers. So that's a guy worth putting a waiver bid on here. Maybe he gets the backfield. Amir Abdullah, I needed to start him like 2 weeks ago to get into the playoffs and some leagues.
He did good.
He scores. It's unbelievable. It's the best. But yeah, so I'm not touching any other. I mean, McCormick, if you got to start him this week, I would see if the other running backs are still hurt though, right?
Well, right. Yeah. Pierce talked well about him, but
he did.
If the other guys come back, it's probably a split like the Kansas City backfield, and then you got nothing.
Right. Right. Exactly. Then you're not.
Everybody gets 6 points. Yay.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. And hopefully, if you're still alive, you have a better roster.
Right.
A little bit of a deeper roster than that.
You get through the Henry bye and
you can figure it out. Right, exactly. But and they could be getting their doors blown off too against Tampa. And then
those garbage time games, anything can happen. And you're like, oh, this guy got 22 points. He got all of them at the end of the game, but who cares? I mean, it's not how many.
I know. So maybe that is Abdullah then if you have to
do it could be, yeah.
But I'm definitely not looking to get them in a lineup for sure.
No.
All right. Saints at Giants, and just another gross game. Good Lord. New Orleans is -5 on the road. The 4-8 Saints are -5 on the road. How
against the mighty Giants?
How does that happen?
But there are some fantasy assets here.
There are some fantasy assets. Well, unfortunately, you were talking about your tight end situation. Now you got to find something. Listen, Jawan Johnson.
Oh yeah,
could
There's no one else to throw the ball to.
I know.
I mean, MVS. Whatever.
Dude, it blows my mind. He was with the Bills. He gets caught, and then he goes
Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. He had his quarterbacks. And Derek
and Rodgers in his prime, MVP
Oh,
Rodgers.
and Rodgers, exactly. Yeah. So 3 Hall of Fame MVP quarterbacks. And now he's got Derek Carr chucking him the rock, and he's an MVP.
He's tearing it up. So stupid. We don't know anything. We know nothing. But yeah, so I mean, you're not looking to start like any receivers there. Kamara. You know what I'm interested in is I'm interested in the running back situation there. So this week we get sorry, Kendra Miller.
No one knows Kendre Miller.
No one knows.
Yeah, everyone knows him already. Damn it.
We get him back this week. There's actually a league, Pat, where I've got like I forget. I'm in so many leagues, but like I have a really good RB1, and then I have my second running backs on a bye, and I've got like 7 running backs that all suck. And I'm going to throw Kendra Miller in there. I'm going to start Miller, and hopefully he gets because they said.
Well, no, isn't he still on IR through week 14?
I don't think he is. Let me.
Okay. Because Dennis Allen just put his ass on IR without. He wasn't hurt.
He wasn't hurt. He was not. He was not hurt. I think he's eligible. I'll figure that out.
Oh, okay.
In a minute here, but I think he is eligible to come back this week. And even if it's not this week, next week, he said it's wheels up for Kendra Miller as soon as. Yeah, he is available this week.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Now, granted, again, it's not exciting, but listen, you could see a world where the Saints are crushing the Giants, and then let's ride Miller. Let's see what he's got.
Right. Or somehow the Giants are up 30 with Drew Lock, and the Saints go, screw it, put him in. It's either going to be a 9-6 game or someone's winning 30-12.
There you go. There you go. As long as Kendra Miller gets 15 touches, 4
catches. Yeah, fine. I mean. Do the Amar Abdullah game, and
that's
you'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. So, like I said, I've got a roster full of freaking, Trey Benson, Cam Akers, Kenneth Gainwell, Kamani Vidal. Like, you know what? I'm going to start.
Yeah, I got one of those teams fighting for their playoff lives with one running back and 6 guys. You're like, ooh. His mom wouldn't start him.
No, his poor mother. Jerry, you got NWI, Westbrook Akine, or MVS? Westbrook Akine, baby. Come on. This guy scores every single week. We love him.
He's broken every rule there is. 20 catches, 8 touchdowns. How in the world?
I love it. I started.
That's MVS numbers, actually.
I know. That's right.
That's
right. I'm going Westbrook Akine.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Unless you're playing us, Jerry. Then,
right.
Then it's the other way.
He probably is too. Jerry's looking up the matchups right now.
Oh yeah.
We're throwing ourselves under the bus so bad. All right, you're starting Neighbors. You're starting Tyrone Tracy in this game, obviously.
Yep. Who's quarterbacking? Do you know yet?
No, I think it's Locke.
It should be, but they love their guy.
Well, like Locke is a gunslinger. You know what I mean? Like at least
he brings fantasy goodness.
Correct. He's like Jameis Winston White. You know what I mean? Like
he's the white Jameis Winston.
That's right. He'll let that thing rip. He'll let it rip. But I like Tyrone Tracy this week as an RB2.
Yes.
I'd be happy.
New Orleans doesn't tackle. Yeah.
No. Especially in that cold up there.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, no receivers to speak of over there. Neighbors, you're starting. Hopefully, Locke can get Neighbors rolling here because he's just been for 6 weeks. Yeah, something like that. So, all right, moving on. Falcons, Vikings, Kirk Cousins, fighting for his job over there. This would be the last week we see him. So we got Falcons at Vikings. Vikings are 6-point favorites. Another one, Justin Jefferson just hasn't gone off either. I think it's Cousins' arm strength, man. I think he's kind of shot. Yeah.
Well, Darnold's arm strength for Jefferson.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Darnold, yeah.
But Darnold looks and then he runs around some more and then he looks. He's the only guy that hasn't trusted Jefferson to just throw him the damn ball and he'll figure it out.
Every play.
The rest of them, Cousins, whoever the guy was before, they figured it out. They just threw it to Jefferson. He caught it.
Yeah.
And Darnold just won't do it.
Who was the coach that they asked a couple of weeks ago, like, how did Sam Darnold develop? And the coach said Justin Jefferson or something. Like I forget who the coach was. He's like,
I mean
Justin Jefferson.
Throw Jefferson the ball and Darnold will look a lot better. And he's got Hawkinson. I mean, he's got Jordan Addison. He's got weapons.
I know.
Jones out of the backfield.
And he's a quarterback I'm kind of counting on because I've got him in a lot of like 2 QB builds, like later on when I take a Darnold and a Purdy or something like that. So I'm kind of playing the matchup game. And so, but I like him this week. Is he at home? I forget what I said.
They're at home. So
in a dome. Well, there would have been a dome in Atlanta too, but in a dome, hopefully, but that one. Hopefully we could get a shootout.
Right.
And get these guys rolling. But obviously starting Jefferson. Where are you with Addison? Are you trusting him yet?
I don't have any Addison at all, but I will say he's impressive.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if he makes one play, and he's he's major starting, he's okay. I'm glad I started that guy. I have none of him, and I swear to God, I play him 6 times each week, and he kills me.
I know. But I think definitely this week when you got 6 teams on bye, I think you can certainly find a spot for him again. It's a good matchup. Another Addison type player, Darnell Mooney on the other side. Minnesota's a good matchup.
As a Bears fan, what he's doing is unbelievable.
Isn't that annoying? Isn't that so?
It is, but he's a good receiver.
He's a good receiver.
And you got London, who got 16 targets last week. So Mooney is just kind of the second fiddle, and he's happy to do it. And I don't know what they're doing with Kyle Pitts.
Well,
he wasn't on the field last week. So
of course they would never throw it to Kyle Pitts in a million years. But Darnell Mooney, Mooney. I looked at it. Was it 2 weeks ago? I'm just kind of looking at the stat. I'm like, Mooney's a top 10 fantasy receiver. What planet am I on? How many receivers got hurt? Oh, all of them. Okay, that makes sense. But I mean, you're starting Mooney, you're starting Addison, hoping for this shootout. Hey, if I'm doing DFS, I don't really do DFS, but if I did, I'd be stacking this game, man. Like, get these guys, get both sides of it, let it roll. Bijan's obviously a rock star. My concern with Bijan moving forward is if they do move on from Cousins, who loves with that baby arm now, checking it down. Yeah, that would suck if Penix was out there with Robinson.
That's kind of my thing is I think Penix is going to be a starter coming soon, and I think you're going to see a whole different offense from Atlanta. And Bijan looked incredible last week, but without those little screens 5 times a game, it's a different game for him.
It's a whole different game. So we'll see. And a lot of these quarterbacks that like to run now, Penix doesn't have great wheels. But a lot of these rookie guys that kind of one read and go, they don't really check down to the running back a lot. Right. So it's kind of hard there. But Bijan, you're starting this week. Tough matchup. Minnesota's a tough one, but
but he's so good.
For sure. Then Aaron Jones, you're starting on the other side. Also a good matchup. Just hoping for a shootout here. Get some decent.
Get us 50 points on the board and see what happens.
That's right. Get some decent weather. All right. Browns at Steelers 3-9 versus 9-3. Jameis Winston might throw 7 interceptions in this game, but he'll put up 7 touchdowns too. So that'll be fun. Pittsburgh -6.5. What do you think about the Cleveland Browns right now?
I love Jameis Winston.
We all love Jameis.
I love Jameis Winston. I have Jameis on so many teams, and he sat on so many benches this week.
I know.
And I'm just like, all right, I got decent production out of Caleb and AR, but I could have had a 40 burger out of Jameis.
I know.
I love Jameis.
He's the best. Everybody wants.
I mean, we need Cedric Tillman to get his head cleared, and Jerry Jeudy had his one good game.
Yep, there you go.
He does that every year, and good luck if you have him. He's probably going to go 3 for 34 this week, and everybody will be like, "What happened?"
Yeah, Pittsburgh's a tough defense. They got the
I mean, Jameis threw against them in the cold and the snow a couple weeks ago, and he looked pretty good. He didn't get any touchdowns, but he had over 220 yards or something.
Yeah.
They can throw the ball against him. Chubb running against him. Chubb doesn't look himself yet.
No, I mean,
I love that guy, but he's gone through so much. Maybe next year, but he's not there this year,
Yeah, for sure. Ford looked better.
He did
on Monday. Ford looked better than.
And I mean, Njoku should have had a touchdown against the Steelers a couple weeks ago. He dropped it in the snow. He'll probably have a decent game. Elijah Moore. I know he's your crush, just like mine.
Yeah.
He'll probably have a good game.
Yeah.
It depends if Tillman plays.
Yeah, they're a receiving. That's exactly right. They're a receiving core a lot like the Packers, right? They're like 4 deep. But if you get one of those guys not playing, now we can kind of play the rest of them. Whereas like if Tillman plays, you're playing Tillman, but it's like, and then you're still probably going to play but the ceiling isn't near as high. You don't know who's going to hit. It's against a really tough pass defense.
Right.
You're not really excited about it. Whereas like, hey, if we can get one of those guys out of there,
right.
Maybe we can roll. A little bit here.
Now you need a touchdown basically. And,
correct.
And then you're like, okay, I got 15. I'm good.
Yeah. Steelers side, man, Pickens has been awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad I have a bunch of Pickens. I just bet on the talent there. I didn't assume he'd be a top 10 fantasy receiver, but I'm pleasantly surprised at the way that Wilson has kind of bounced back. Najee Harris obviously has been good. I'm okay starting both running backs there if you have to.
As long as Arthur Smith doesn't do what he did last week.
What did he do last week? I missed it.
Jaylen Warren didn't get a touch until like 3 minutes left in the second quarter.
Oh my gosh.
Cordell Patterson was in when Najee wasn't. Najee actually went out of the game with an injury.
Yeah.
I have so much
Jaylen Warren. Right.
I have so much Warren. I'm like, here we go.
Here we go.
And there's big number 84 in the backfield. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, Arthur Smith. You're killing me.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
But yeah, Jaylen Warren, start him if you got him. I mean, Najee, yes. Cleveland's a tough run defense, but if the Steelers get the lead, what's going to happen? They're going to pound the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Friday was at a monster week last week. He had a really good matchup.
Yeah.
And then this week, let's see how the Browns are against. The Browns are even like a dead even matchup. So not positive, not negative.
They're middle of the road. Yeah. So it depends what the Steelers do. I mean, last week they were throwing the ball all over.
Yeah.
Russell had 300 yards at halftime.
I know.
I think. They're probably not going to do that against the Browns, and Myles Garrett probably won't let them.
Right.
So you're going to need balance more.
Yeah.
So I mean, Freiermuth probably still a good start with 6 teams on bye, I'd say.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're starting him over – I would start him over Gesicki probably with a healthy core there in Cincy.
Yeah.
I'd probably start him over Juwan Johnson, over Disley, I think. That's close as Kansas City.
What about K. Otten? Would you start him over?
Never start him over Big Daddy Otten. No way. No way. But
he's tight end 1 or low tight end 1, high at tight end 2.
Sure, somewhere in there. So look
at no Taysom Hill, no Goddard, and 6 teams on bye. He's probably top 10.
Yeah, I mean, he's right in the mix with. I mean, the top 10 that I've kind of got here is Bowers, Kelsey, McBride, Kittle, Jonnu, Njoku, Ingram, Laporta, Hawkinson, and then that's where you get to Kate Otten, Ferguson, Tucker Kraft, Disley.
Yeah.
I think he's in that.
He's in that. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that covers pretty much everybody on both of those teams. You're starting no kind of sneaky guys there. All right, next game we have Jags at Titans. Oh, there's not much to talk about here. Trevor Lawrence, I think he's out for the year now. I think they just announced, which sucks for him, obviously personally.
Yeah.
And the offense wasn't doing much. What can Mac Jones do? Both these teams suck. I don't really want to start.
Just find Brian Thomas Jr.
Or
that's
Evan
all you should do.
Yeah. Brian Thomas Jr. or Evan Ingram. Find Ingram underneath. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Parker Washington. Is that the right name for them? Is he another guy that had a good week last week?
He changed his name now supposedly to Christopher Parker Washington. But that's the guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
He must have a brother doing waivers or something. He doesn't want anybody to know what his name is or whatever. But Parker Washington. Again, guys are hurt for the year. You're making kind of plan. You need a guy with 4. Dude, there's some teams where I'm decimated by bye weeks.
And
injuries. The guy to start, I think you could do worse than Washington. So
they'll probably be losing. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Mac Jones sucks. So that it's both of these teams should try to lose. But by the way,
but they'll both try to win way too much. Yeah,
a tie, perfect. But yeah, I mean, Pollard, this is a nice spot for him because this is a game that they're 3.5-point favorites. How often are they ever favorites?
Yeah, right.
So Pollard, if you got him, I like it.
Westbrook, Akine for Jerry.
That's right, Jerry. That's right.
He'll have 2 catches. If he has a touchdown, it's a good week. If he doesn't, it's a bad week.
Right. That's right. You're starting Ridley, I guess.
Calvin Ridley. Yeah.
So nothing sneaky. Westbrook Akine is, again, a guy that can get you a touchdown on a win. But Chig's got a good matchup, but I feel like he never does anything ever.
Well, they don't throw him the ball. He had one 70-yard touchdown this year, and that was it. I mean,
he has one of those every year. It's just they just don't throw him the ball.
He's an athlete. They don't throw him the ball.
And he's got a good matchup too. But I will say that the Titans have done a little bit. Levis has been decent. I mean, the Jaguars are a great matchup for quarterbacks. He has that rushing upside. He's been pretty good for most of the year. He does some stupid Winston stuff, some dumb pick sixes. Yeah. But he's been, I mean, I have him as a top 15, 16 quarterback this week. I'd still start Caleb over him. I'd start Geno Smith over him. But Stafford has a matchup against the Bills that's really difficult. Bills,
and he's got a bad ankle. So
he's got a bad ankle.
Tough. But the thing with Levis is this: he's usually playing from behind, and I bet you if you look up his stuff, a lot of his stats are
garbage time. Yeah,
he might not get that this week. It might be a Pollard game where they're winning by 13 points in the third quarter, and they're like, okay, Levis, don't throw the ball anymore.
Right.
I don't know.
Absolutely right. Yeah, you're starting. Yeah, and then on the other side, you're starting Ingram. You're starting Brian Thomas,
and that's it.
I don't want to start either of the running backs, to be honest.
Glad I don't have them, and I don't have to make that decision. But
I have a lot of Bigsby because I think that ETN stinks.
Yes,
but I can't even start like ETN. Like when ETN's not there, Bigsby's fine. But
they don't trust Bigsby enough to give him the load. Otherwise, he'd be fine. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, all right, Seahawks at Cardinals. This should be another good one. At the Cardinals, so weather won't be a factor. Arizona, just a 3-point favorite at home. It's another game that I would like to stack and start all the pieces to both sides. You're starting all your main guys. JSN's been awesome. Metcalf's been awesome. Yes. Walker. You're starting all those guys. The one guy that's been really disappointing to me has been Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, he scored a lot of touchdowns, right? But they just don't. He never. And that's a guy I've been locked into. Yeah. Right. Just watching. I have a lot of him in like the mid-second round.
Right.
Kyler just doesn't even look at him.
I was going to say it's not Marv that's the problem.
He doesn't even look at him.
No. I don't know if they don't design plays for him, or if Kyler just looks and then looks to McBride in the middle of the field.
That's what it is. That's what it is, dude.
He takes the easy pass. When he was younger, he didn't do that. When he had D-Hop on his team, he'd throw it down the field for him. So I kind of envisioned what you did where, okay, I'll take a little Marv early second round because they're just going to throw it up and he'll win. And they haven't done that.
And I thought that like Marv isn't this type of receiver, but like I thought that Kyler would buy a bunch of time and like scramble drill type of deal. That's not Marv's like game. But I'm like, well, if he's the number one there, he'll get – Kyler's not doing that. He's not running around trying to.
Well, he runs around and then he runs for 4 yards and slides now. And it's like, what do you do?
What are you doing?
I was watching them and the Vikings this week, and I wanted to throw something at the TV because literally Arizona had the ball the whole game, and it was Kyler Murray running around, either throwing a dump off to McBride or running for 4 yards.
Yeah.
The whole game. And there were so many penalties because – When you got to guard a guy for 8, 9, 12 seconds, you're going to hold, you're going to do this. So they kept getting first downs and then no touchdowns. It was frustrating.
That sucks. But yeah, and then when he throws it to McBride in the red zone, or not McBride, Harrison in the red zone, it's a touchdown.
I know.
He comes down with it.
He's got 6, 7, 8 touchdowns this year, but
something like that.
Not a lot of catches, not a lot of targets.
I remember that one game, was it week 2? He had like 30 fantasy points in the first quarter. Didn't have another catch the rest of the game. No targets. Like, what the freak?
Yeah.
Oh, so gross. But
this is where we live.
He's fine. You're starting him, but I'm not as excited about him as I was.
No, I mean he could have a 45-point game.
Correct.
Or he could get you 4.5. I mean,
right. Hopefully it's in the fantasy
Kyler.
Yeah. Hopefully it's in the fantasy playoffs. So yeah, start all your studs on both sides.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see Trey Benson get a shot, dude. I mean, James Conner, none of these guys, Kyron Williams, James Conner, nobody wants to miss a down ever at all the whole season.
And what's with the extensions they're giving these 30-year-old running backs? I'm so glad I don't play Dynasty because I'd have a lot of Trey Benson, and they'd be like, "Wait, you did what with James Conner? When? What?
Is this government money that if they don't use it, they lose it? Like what is going on? Let's just give contracts to whoever because we're
build the road because we got to spend this money. So give it to James Conner.
Oh my God.
I love James Conner. Don't get me wrong, but what are you doing?
I know. And it's just been bad luck because dude, I have so much Blake Corum, so much Trey Benson. Just all running backs get hurt, especially the older ones or the injury prone one. Kyron Williams hasn't been healthy a day in his life, and he hasn't missed a snap this year.
I know. I have so much Blake Corum. It's ridiculous. And I'm like, it's going to happen. It's not happening this year.
I know. And again, I'm not rooting for a guy to get hurt, but everybody gets hurt. Everybody gets hurt except for these guys. Oh my God. But anyway, listen, maybe come the 3-week race. I wouldn't be mad about that.
I wouldn't be sad.
I wouldn't be mad.
Maybe Kyron Williams wins the lottery and doesn't play football anymore. He doesn't get injured.
There you
don't
go.
have to root for that.
Right. That's right. And Kyron was my guy last year. I mean, Kyron was my Blake Corum. Like I had him everywhere, like waiting, and that worked out. Well, this year, not so much. All right. Bills at Rams. My guy, Josh Allen. I mean, come on. MVP of the league. He's going to lose the MVP to a freaking running back. You watch, dude, and I'm going to be so freaking pissed.
I mean, this one would be more legitimate than when Mahomes beat him out or Lamar.
Or Lamar last year with 28 touchdowns.
Saquon is really, I mean, he's going to break all the running back records.
I know.
I get it. But yeah, Josh Allen since like week 4. Stud.
Unbelievable. He has been so good. Bills are on the road in LA -4. So listen, the Bills have people are like, hey, shootout. Listen, the Bills, when they're playing with a lead, their defense is nasty. Their secondary is awesome. People don't have big games on the Bills.
I picked up so many Bills defensive shares like 2 weeks ago because I saw their schedule and I'm like, weather. New England and the Jets at home the last 2 weeks of the year. Bring it on.
Yeah.
So, that defense, when they get ahead, and they got Milano back now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's going to be a tough defense. I mean. Yeah.
And so you're starting to Nakua and Kupp and Kyron. Kyron would be the guy I'd be most excited about because the Bills' run defense isn't great. They're built to stop the pass.
Yes.
And there is a chance of a shootout, but I still wouldn't be excited to start them. I would try to get off Stafford if I could. I know there's a lot of guys on bye.
Yeah.
But I would go Winston, even in a tougher matchup. I would go Caleb Williams, Geno, in that range. I would definitely go with those guys. Maybe even Cousins. Because Stafford's gimpy and
I know.
He already
couldn't. Yeah, it could get ugly real quick if the Bills jump out to a lead, it could get ugly.
Yeah. Love Josh Allen this week, obviously.
Yeah.
Love James Cook this week, coming off that big game in the snow against the Niners. I think they're going to try to run him, especially if they have a lead.
Yeah.
Then the receiver I like is Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra. I would start Amon-Ra over Amari Cooper for sure.
Wait. Hold on.
I'm on Rock. Khalil Shakir.
Shakir. I was confused there. I'm like,
they're the same player.
I wish that on your team.
Get Josh the weapons.
I'm on Ron. What do you mean?
Khalil Shakir.
I love Shakir.
Poor man's Amon Ra. There we go.
He's awesome. I love him.
He's good. He's good. Yeah. So if you have to decide, this could be the Cooper breakout game, though. He was hurt. He was new, and then he was hurt. And then it was a snow game. Like, it's always something. But this could be the week where Cooper does go off. But I really like Shakir.
Yeah.
And don't ask me about Kincaid. I have no idea if he's going to be back this week.
Yeah. And Keon Coleman is coming back this week. So that might hurt Cooper more than Shakir.
Correct.
You're going to spread out those deeper targets. But
I'm excited about this game. In good weather.
Yeah.
Bills finally getting healthy. I think it'll be good. Hope for a shootout for fantasy sake. Bears at Niners, kind of a gross game here. I kind of like the Bears defense in this one. I can't believe I'm saying that. But I think they could get after Purdy, shoulder injury. He's probably still frostbit from the game on Sunday. What do you think about this game?
Well, I'm a Bears fan. Sadly.
Oh, here we go.
You know, so Caleb is Caleb, and he's going to be fantastic. I think Keenan Allen will have a nice game. DJ Moore will have a nice game. I even think Swift will have a nice game. Purdy, I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
Is he really hurt? You couldn't tell in that Buffalo game.
Right. You couldn't.
I don't think he's 100%. They have no running backs.
Yep.
Is Debo going to play 30% of the running back snaps this week? I hope so.
Yeah.
And then you got Juwan Jennings and Kittle. I mean, I think this game will be an okay game, and you'll get okay stats out of all your guys. I don't think anybody's shining very bright. You know?
Right. I don't know who from the Niners is back on their defense. I know Bosa was out last week and a couple other guys, but Chicago doesn't have the best run defense for Phoenix. Like Guerrero's probably terrible. Guerrero's an RB2 for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he could probably fall into a touchdown also.
Yes.
But you know what's crazy is, you know, this was supposed to be Rome Odunze season, right? It was supposed to be Keenan Allen at the beginning of the year, and then Odunze as the season goes on, and it's not. Keenan Allen's hairline's receding, his thing's falling off, he's pissed off. He's out there catching, getting 12, 13 targets a game.
Yeah.
But I've got so much Odunze, I'm waiting. Like, come on, it's supposed to be.
I drafted so much Bears offense this year, it makes me sick.
Yeah.
The projections I had for Caleb and the rest of the offense were gross.
Yeah.
I was drinking the Kool-Aid, and I was 100% wrong.
Well, they got rid of some offensive coaches.
They got rid of every coach.
Everybody.
They should have.
Yeah.
Next, get rid of the owners, and we'll be better. But I mean, Allen still has it. You know, he'll probably go somewhere else next year and still be good at football.
Yeah.
DJ Moore, when they use him the right way, is great.
Yes.
And Odunze has more unrealized air yards than anyone this year, I believe.
Okay, that makes sense.
He's been the deep guy, and they keep missing him.
Yeah.
Caleb was great at the deep ball in college, and he's been terrible in the pros at it.
Yeah.
So Odunze will have a 5 for 250 with 3 touchdown game before the end of the year.
Oh,
maybe week 18 when no one's playing fantasy. He will do it. Over 200 yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns, I guarantee it.
Oh my God, I love that.
And then he'll be a second-round pick next year and just point everyone.
Hot takes, I love it. All right, so we like that. The Bears, the Niners. Yeah, you're starting your Debos and your Kittles and your
I guess
suspects. Juwan Jennings, are you still rolling with him? He's
been better than Debo. I mean,
Debo's
been terrible.
And the rookie there, Pearsall, what happened to him? He came back had a touchdown or something his first game there, had a decent game, and then he doesn't get targeted. I don't even know was he even active on Sunday?
He was playing.
Didn't they just don't go to him?
Well, I don't think Purdy can throw the ball more than 15 yards right now.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem. You know, I don't know what's going on with that team. I think they've given up.
Yeah. I mean, they're just not used to this, right? They're not. They're used to just being in the hunt every year.
Yeah, a lot of old guys and Trent Williams not playing is the key on offense.
Yeah,
he's been out the last 2 games. They've been terrible.
Bears get killed on the run. Hope Niners throw all day. I think they're going to run all day.
They should. I mean,
for sure. All right. Moving on here, we've got, I think this is the Sunday night game. Chargers at Kansas City Chiefs, who I hate so much. And, of course, Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey's out, probably going to be out. He's doubtful for this game. And it's like, of course he is. The Chiefs catch another break. Like they need any more of those.
They get every break.
It's just stupid. Kansas City -4. But yeah, I don't like any. I wouldn't even start any Chargers running back in this. I don't care.
I wouldn't start any running back in this.
Yeah, or that.
Either side.
Well, the Chargers are really good.
Well, if you're playing me, public service.
That's
if you're playing me, start any of the running backs on either one of these teams, and I'm okay.
I think you can get to Pacheco. as an RB, lower end RB2, but
that injury he had, I don't know.
I know. We'll see. But
playoffs. That's
when he'll be ready.
they're each going to get their 6 to 8 touches, and then Samaje will come in for 3 or 4 catches, and I don't know.
Yeah, no, you could definitely be right, because they're going to have that first round bye because no one can freaking beat them except for the Bills. So plenty of time.
And then the Chargers are going to play defense like never before because they have no receivers, they have no running backs. So it's like, okay, Harbaugh ball.
Yeah,
we're going to run the ball 55 times, control the clock, and I think it's going to get ugly.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They are going to run the ball a lot, but like the running backs suck. Kamani Vidal will be the guy. Like maybe they give him a little bit more.
Yeah,
catches some passes,
right?
Because he's not going to run for like their run defense is amazing.
Yes,
and so they know, especially when they know they're going to run. But
yeah,
if I had to start a running back from the Chargers, it would be Kamani Vidal. Hoping for some catches. I guess if you start Edwards, you're hoping for a falling touchdown, but.
Yeah,
it just doesn't happen, man. This is a game that like you would hopefully hope for a shootout, and you're not getting a shootout. This is gonna be
I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, if McConkey plays, the Chargers have an advantage there, but otherwise, it's yuck.
Yeah,
I mean,
so I don't like Herbert in this game, although he's probably with that rushing upside, a higher end QB2.
Yeah.
Mahomes, I think will be okay. His passing weapons are healthy.
Yes.
So are getting healthier. Hollywood Brown, speaking of waivers, if you got a dead roster spot and you're really weak at receiver, you might, because I think he's going to be back mid-December. Maybe you get week 17 out of him. And again, the type of stuff that we play at, Pat, this tournament stuff, right? Like who's going to have Hollywood Brown, right? Like nobody.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I had him all over the place, and then he got hurt.
Yeah. So like in a tournament, if you start Hollywood Brown week 17 and no one else has him or whatever, and he pops off for even 20, like that's puts you at a huge advantage. So it's hard to find a dead roster spot though at this time of year when you're carrying 3 quarterbacks, maybe 2 tight ends.
Yeah.
It's hard. But I think he could be a sneaky little spot there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're starting Kelsey.
I mean, worthy if you're, if you got Christian Watson or Worthy or something like that, they're the same player. It's like, well,
correct.
Who gets a touchdown? I mean, you might start him.
Yeah. Yeah. You're starting Worthy and Hopkins as wide receiver 3s. Like they're definitely in the mix. Like you could consider an Adunze over them. You can consider like a Jordan Addison in that range, like Darnell Mooney. I would maybe start over them too. So,
Yeah.
But
these are 2 good defenses that have good coordinators. They're not going to give up easy stuff probably. So the Addison against Atlanta sounds better to me than Worthy against
the
Chargers, but who knows?
All right. And then Monday night we've got Bengals at Cowboys. This was supposed to be a great game on the schedule, but not going to happen. But I think this is a big game for fantasy as far as I think the Bengals are just going to go ham in Dallas on prime time against this defense. I think Burrow is just going to go crazy. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to like Chase Brown and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. I mean, and even on the Dallas side, Cooper Rush will probably have a game because
the Bengals
Cincinnati's pass defense is terrible.
Yes.
They're going to be behind. CeeDee Lamb will play in this game.
Will he? Why did he Thanksgiving? He's just chilling. The whole second half.
He's going to play in this game because it's a Monday night game.
And it's Jamar Chase on the other side.
And then he's going to go on the IR after this game.
My
That's my prediction with Chase, with CeeDee. No. He's like, everybody's watching. I'm going to play in this game. And then we suck. I'm just going to get an injury. And
so you're saying trade CeeDee Lamb for Rome Odunze. That's
it right there.
Okay. All right. You heard it here first, folks. No, but
I mean, Rico Dowdle will do what Rico Dowdle does. And Jake Ferguson's supposed to play. So he could be a good play.
Yeah. And they've been using, Schoonmaker isn't like some crazy good tight end. He's been okay. He's been fine.
Yeah. Well, Dallas's offense uses the tight end, so whoever's there is going to produce something.
I think Ferguson, So to your point about Ferguson, I think he's certainly worth starting. So I think they're going to rely on Rico because they don't want the freaking Bengals offense on the field. Because I think the Bengals offense is just going to go nuts.
Yeah,
I mean, both, I think Chase and Higgins are both top 9 receivers this week.
Right.
And this is one, if you got these guys fantasy playoffs, man, this is what you were waiting for. Explosion spot for sure.
Give me Chase Brown to clinch a bunch of division winning money spots for me. I would
there
love
you go.
that.
There you go. Yeah, no, Chase Brown's been great. Been great for sure. How's the matchup for Gesicki? It's probably not great. No, Dallas is actually really good against the tight end. And there's so many other good offensive weapons there that they don't even need to use him. Well, maybe you get a red zone touchdown, but
Burrow's going to be looking for Higgins and Chase, I think, because it's like, okay, we got the downfield plays now with both of them.
Right. The lights are on. Yeah. No, for sure. All right, man. I think that wraps up our week 14 chat about the teams. Let's look at. So, listen, you're the defending champ. Everyone's coming for you. You're in Vegas, showing off that beautiful belt and all that good stuff. So jealous. But you have a team this year that you really like, and I've seen it there on the rankings too. But even so do you remember? I'm sure you do. The team that won it all last year, where was that team ranked going into the 3-week race? Do you know, or around about?
I think it was like in the mid 30s.
Mid 30s. So yes. So I had a team just like that last year also, and I also had a team that was top 10 all year, just kind of like the one you're gonna show us here. Mm-hmm. And that team that was in the top 10 all year fell out and just disappeared. And then that team from the mid 30s came up and was number 1 until you crushed me on the final day. But this is fun to look at this type of stuff because these are the teams you've been kind of following all year. Walk us through this team here. Maybe go over kind of some of the high points. And have you lost anybody due to injury from this team?
Oh, don't say that.
Oh no,
this is like the only team I haven't lost anybody from. I think.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I went wide receiver to start. I think the first 4 picks were wide receiver.
Yep.
Chase, Neighbors, Moore, and Pickens.
Yep.
And then I got gifted Mixon and Montgomery back to back in the middle of the 6th or the 5th and 6th round.
Yep.
And then I went Jaylen Warren. And Lamar was just sitting there. And I'm not a guy who takes quarterbacks or tight ends early.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, I got 3 backs. I got 4 wide receivers. I'm real happy with this team. Lamar is there. I'm taking Lamar.
Yeah.
And that turned out really well.
For sure. For sure.
I mean, I
what do your tight ends look like?
Goddard. And Goddard might be out for the year now that I just heard today, which is troubling to me. And then I picked up Ertz. So I got Ertz and I got Hawkinson. I'm okay with that. It's probably 10 points either way, with a chance at 15 to 20 from either one of them. I picked up Tracy like the 12th or 13th round.
Yeah.
So he's my 4th, 4th running back.
Yeah.
And I got Brooks from Carolina. If he, if he gets hot, I'm going to have a problem of who to play, which is always a much better problem to have.
Yeah. Now, did you draft Tillman or did you pick him up?
No, I picked him up.
Yeah, like most of us. Yeah.
I spent a lot of money on Tillman in a lot of leagues. I think I got him in like 13 of my 23 leagues.
Yeah.
And I mean, I went $200, $300, $400 on him because I'm like, he's the guy.
Yep. And he is the guy. He's been hurt. He's been hurt recently, and he'll get healthy, and they'll start throwing. He gets Cincinnati and Miami the last 2 weeks. Kansas City, Cincinnati, Miami. So if he can get healthy for that stretch,
that's a nice stretch. Yeah.
Cincinnati, Miami for sure. So, and where does this team rank overall right now? Second overall.
Yeah, second overall. They've been top 5 for about the last 8 weeks. It's been fun to watch because I'll have a bad week and I'm like, oh, I'm probably like 15th or something, and then I look and they're 3rd, and I'm like, oh, other people had bad weeks with good players too.
That's the same, right? That's usually how that works. Once you get this deep, it's like it's all the kind of the same players, at the top, and then how that works. Once it turns over to the 3-week race, it'll be the same thing. The top players will be the top players, and then it kind of starts over. So
this team could finish in last of the playoffs. Who knows? But
who knows?
They already won the Dominator, so I don't care.
Good for you. Yeah, no, that's the one thing I didn't get. So I'm in 6 FFWCs. I'm going to make the playoffs. The main playoffs, the race for the 150K. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make it in 4 of them.
Nice.
And well, I'm in more than 6, but with like mine solo by myself that I didn't go on. And I didn't get any. I got no dominators, and I think I'm only eligible for the league playoffs in one of them, because I think that the top 2 teams make the league playoffs, right? And then
points and record,
and then the 4 make the race for the 150K.
Right.
So I don't even have a shot at any league money. So I really need one of these freaking 4 teams to go smash. But you know how that works. It's 150K up top. By the time you get to 10th, it's like $1,000 or something.
Yes.
So
well, last year when I wasn't going to play and Scott talked me into it, it was because the year before I think I had 10 of the 12 teams make the playoffs, but I wasn't in the money in any of them. And it was just frustrating, and then in the playoffs, they didn't do well enough to do it either. Right. So then you're like, so then Scott did his best salesman routine. And he got me, and
that's right.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
I know. But it's sick. It's like, each website has their own. I like a lot of the stuff that FFWC does with the playoffs and running them concurrently so that you don't have any bye weeks in the playoffs. Like, I really like that.
Yes.
Man, maybe we could get like just a couple more teams in the league playoffs, because it's like, man. And then because not only do you only have 2 that make it, but then that dominator, like if that dominator hits for some other team, you're not in, it's. I did win a dominator last year, which was nice. But
when you win them, they're great. When you don't, it's like, oh man, I had a pretty good team, and
I had a really good team.
I got $1,000 out of it.
I know. So, all right, dude. Well, listen, thanks so much for joining me. Good luck these next couple weeks. And good luck. Good grinding this out. Dude, like you said, waivers are finally done. We got 2 more days of waivers left tonight, and then Sunday.
I'm spending all my money tonight. Then I don't have to worry about it for Sunday.
Right. That's not a bad idea.
Can I do a shout out to my little cousins?
Do it all, man. Do it all.
Players. All right. Taylor, Joey, and Will. What's up?
That's right. And listen, don't forget Jason, right? Your partner in crime. Didn't he get married? He just got married.
He's in Mexico on his honeymoon.
Living the dream.
If you're watching, Aaron, Jason, love you.
You better not be watching. What do you mean? You're honeymoon in Mexico. Listen, I love everyone at the show, but don't be watching it now, all right? Watch it.
Exactly.
So, all right, Pat. Thanks so much for joining me.
Right.
We will see everybody next week.
Thank you.